just wanna look. I just would tell all your friends I love them too. I look nice, but I'm not so good. I got something I just wanna prove. Can you get yourself inside my room? Let me take you out. Let me take you down. Let me show you. Let me tell you. Let me show you something. Lo 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 lo. Lo 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 lo. Let me show you. Lo 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 Would tell all your friends I love them too. I look nice, but I'm not so good. I got something I just wanna prove. Can you get yourself inside my room? Let me show you something, something you will not appreciate. Let me show you something, let me show you something, something that will take away your sorrow. Let me show you something, let me show you something. Lo 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 lo, lo 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 lo. Let me show you lo 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 lo
Sorry about that. Welcome back to the Calmie African Diary Show. Remember, you are tuning to Black Cultural Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, before we went on a short break, sorry, my internet was buffering a little bit, but I believe everyone is doing okay. A very good morning, or rather, good morning to the wonderful family out there, those who are watching and those who are listening. Welcome to the Calmie African Diary Show on the Black Cultural Network. And today it is all about, of course, it is all about entertainment. It is all about what is happening. But even before that, the main topic of the day is about the situation that is in Cameroon. That is, we do have certain situations that are happening in Cameroon. And today we are going to talk about sorry about that. Welcome to the Come African Diary Show. Sorry about that. And today is just the internet is just the same as the weather is in that it is chilling. It is a moody, of course, situation. But nevertheless, I was just updating you on what is happening in Cameroon. Remember, there is a sad situation. But like I said, I wouldn't want to start the show on a sad note, but rather let's take a look at what is good, what is popping in the entertainment side before we even get to venture on the topic. And I hope that everyone is doing okay, considering that right now we are having a lot of issues. We are having a lot of issues in different, countries. I'm talking about Africa at large. There's also this, I call it an issue because things are really not going the way we had, of course, a plan for this year to be. But of course, we have been holding on. We have been holding on strongly till here we are now. And there's this issue with the COVID-19 vaccination that, of course, the question around the country right now is if Kenyans are ready for this. It's crazy, but of course, we had earlier on talked about this that, the vaccine is going to be made mandatory the way it seems. But then again, we just hope it doesn't get to that. But let me just start on these amazing tips. And I had stumbled upon some quote that was saying, do not describe the African woman based on European thoughts. Let me repeat that. Do not describe the beauty, actually, the word is the beauty of an African woman with the European perspective, or that is with the European perspectives, of course, on the African, that is on the African woman, and that is the what goes around here. In that on the streets right now, people are African women. They're really not appreciating themselves. Of course, I'm not talking about them in general, but of course, they have been. A few, there have been a few that, of course, a small loss that, doesn't get to appreciate themselves. And as a result, they're out, of course, getting to use a bleach on their skin, and it has not really turned out quite well for some people. And we all know the side effects of all this. But it is good as an African woman to get to appreciate yourself, to get, of course, to appreciate who you are. But before that, I want to share some little bit of beauty tips. Let me share some little bit of beauty tips here with us.
I just wanna love. 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 I just wanna. But tell your friends I love them too.
All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at some beauty tips that you can get, of course, to do. That is a routine. Considering that right now we are, of course, going to the weekend, and weekend time is when we get to have that manicure, that pedi, that facial, that you've been wanting, that massage that you've been wanting. Because after all, the week has been that quite hectic. So you need to treat yourself. This can be a daily routine that you can infuse. And remember, this is all natural. This is all Africa. And I'm talking about the coconut oil that is from the coconut fruit itself, if I may call it a fruit. And in Tanzania, when we were in Tanzania, actually, we could see a lot of coconut trees. And actually in Africa, Tanzania is amongst those African countries that get to import, that is palm oil. I'm talking about coconut oil at large from Africa. So if you're looking for beauty tips, that is why we keep asking ourselves, why is it that people in this coastal region, they have flawless skin? Why is it that their hair, of course, is neat, no issues with dandruff and so on? You get to that they get to use some natural remedies, that is natural product, and I'm talking about coconut oils. And of course, here are some of the routines that you can get to, that is to use in terms of coconut, of course, coconut oil, and each has some benefits that I thought perhaps you will be interested. Do not just go to the market and get to buy the coconut fruit itself, but rather, after, of course, maybe you can cook with it. Of course, you can cook with it, and in other ways, you can get, of course, to use this, of course, coconut to your skin. And it's not only used for skin, there is a lot of benefits when you get to use coconut oil. And of course, I would like perhaps to share this with you, such that the next time you are on the stores, you can get to purchase some little bit of coconut oil. And of course, it is known to benefit your hair and the skin. But before you even get to read, remember you are tuning to Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century, and you can of course get to log in at www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. You can take a look at some of the episodes you might have of course missed. You can also take a look at you can take a look at some of the blogs. You can take a look at also that is some of the amazing music that get to play. That is when you get to log in at www.blackhotfirenetwork. Remember, this is the Calmie African Diary Show, and I'm just highlighting on some of the health benefits of the coconut oil. Perhaps you've seen this in your beauty stores, but one thing that I'll advise you is search for organic products as possible, because as much as they are expensive, but you all know the quality, and the quality and the effect that you get to experience the effect immediately. So one thing about the coconut oil is that it is used to create a DIY hair mask. Exactly. Most of the time when I love doing some bantu knots on my hair, but I don't think you can see it clearly. I always use this coconut oil, and trust me, it doesn't leave, those residues on your hair. It doesn't leave those residues in your hair. It gets, of course, to make to give your hair some wet texture, some smooth texture at the same time. So coconut oil, I can advise you any day, anytime. It is good as a hair mask. Not necessarily, you don't need to apply it to make bantu knots, but you can just apply it to let your hair, of course, soak into that. It also gets to minimize dandruff. Perhaps you have an issue, or rather a situation whereby your hair has all those types of dandruff, and trust me, dandruffs they are pictured as being dirty, of course, in quotes, but of course these are just dead cells, and that is why most people that get to use coconut oil. It's one cheaper way you can get to use it to minimize the situation with dandruff. Also, the issue with it is for the face. You can get to apply it on your face if you want that glowing African skin. Remove eye makeup for those. That is for the women who love, of course, applying some eye makeup. Coconut oil is the way forward, and also it can be used for a lip scrub. You want that smooth, of course, moisturize the lips. The coconut oil is the way forward. It can also be used as a lip balm. So there is a majority of this, both beauty, that of course you can get to use coconut oil. And for the models, perhaps you've seen them getting, of course, to use coconut. That is to highlight their lips. But nevertheless, that is just what is happening in terms of beauty, because it's something keeps freaking me. Okay, because it's all about beauty. It's all about beauty. It's all about ensuring that you get your skin glowing out there. Nevertheless, let's take a look at what is happening in Africa. And I love, of course, to go all the way to Tanzania. Remember, Tanzania was having its election, or okay, was it? It has not, of course, yet had its election, but of course, the campaigns are there. I do have the campaigns that they have seen different artists, the different celebrities. I'm talking about the likes of Nandi. These are just artists from Tanzania, and then of course up there is raising the flag of Chama cha Mapinduzi. And Chama cha Mapinduzi, this is of course this is in regards to Magufuli himself. But there is a situation in Tanzania in that you do have the opposition leader, that is Tundu Lissu. Remember, Tundu Lissu had survived some assassination some time back, and he had actually come back to the country, under heavy, heavy security, because he was fearing for his life. This is not new for many individuals in the opposition party, in that sometimes they are abducted, and sometimes that is kidnapped or killed. But in most cases, you get to see that there is some insecurities. For example, in Uganda, people have been banned from wearing the red beret because they're told that there is an act of war. That is, it is an act of war against, I can say against Magufuli. Of course, he didn't like put it that way, but we know that the red beret is worn by the one and only Bobby Wine, and this is a way of opposition, a way of revolution in Uganda. And I've seen people have been banned in that they're saying that if you are wearing that beret, you are that is wearing a military uniform, so it's part of the military uniform. Of course, it's crazy. But in Tanzania, we do have a opposition leader, that is Tundu Lissu. He has denounced, that is the presidential poll. And of course, this is because they say that it is a waste of time, claiming that it had been flawed, that is to favor of the incumbent. That is, they do have the elections that of course, I believe they have taken place exactly. They have taken place. And he has, of course, denounced the presidential poll. I believe Magufuli has taken it again. And of course, the Chadema party, the Chadema party, of course, was under Tundu Lissu. And he had hoped, that he will get that sympathy votes from the people. But you all know, I can say that Magufuli is really working hard. Of all African leaders, Magufuli has ensured that we are not, we're not succumbing to this issue of COVID-19 lies that have spread their way in Africa. In Kenya, I can tell you the numbers are turning chaotic, but of course, as it has it, Tundu Lissu has, of course, denounced the October 2018 general election, and of course, even after the electoral agency was banning the midnight rule, banning, that is counting votes in one of the elections. But of course, he has come ahead to say that, of course, it was he said that, of course, this was more like fraud, that he believes he cannot win. But let me tell this to the opposition leaders: if you believe in yourself, if you believe that the people, it is high time that the people want to change, then trust me, you need to keep there, you need to stay there, you need to motivate these people that you are indeed, of course, are ready to help them. You're ready, of course, to give them a good future, ready to give them another chance in terms of changing, maybe coming up with good manifestos, things like that, that can help, of course, propel your candidates, that is, for you to come into power. But that is just the situation in Tanzania. We hope that things will turn, that is, for the best. But as it has it, Tundu Lissu, that name is quite hectic, is already saying no to the elections as much as the votes are still being counted. That is just a highlight on what is happening in Tanzania. But let me know your views regarding that. Do you think that Magufuli stands another chance? As for me, I can say that I believe he stands another chance, because this man has really done a lot for the Tanzanian. Take a look at the issue with corruption. It is not affecting the Tanzanians anymore, or if it's there, it is a minimum. And of course, we use the term it is done underwater. But I can commend him. He's really been doing an amazing job. But moving from that, let's take a look at the topic of the day. And remember, you are tuned to Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century, media for the 21st century. And of course, I'm just highlighting you on what is happening in Africa. And there has been a little bit of a situation between the Anglophone and the Fracophone. And just to highlight on this is coming all the way from Cameroon. I mean, the Francophones, of course, they are this lot in Cameroon that have indicated French as a mother tongue, while the Anglophones, of course, I'm talking about in Cameroon, while the Anglophones, they have, of course, that is indicated English only as their mother tongue. So actually, I really don't get to understand as to why this, it is happening in Africa. instead of us embracing ourselves, instead of us, getting to stick maybe to our mother tongue, instead of us, trying to put or rather bring a change into Africa, we are out here fighting for two languages which we do not know of, which is not even our mother tongue. Sorry about that. I think my microphone went down. But of course, I'm just highlighting on the situation in Cameroon. Two African countries, that is the two brothers and sisters, fighting for a language they do not know of. Fighting. Because, for example, let's talk about French. The French, of course, they get to colonize, that is, the people in Cameroon. And as a result, different colonizers, of course, have been working hand in hand to ensure that that is the countries, the African countries that were under their protectorate, they're still speaking their language. They're still, of course, speaking their language. And as a result, you really do have a little bit of a bad situation in that right now, I can call it, this is an emergency. This actually has to be a tribal, of course, emergency. We are talking about a possible, let me just get this correct. We are, of course, talking about a possible, that is a possible situation in terms of, a possible situation of, this attack, a possible situation about, two communities fighting against each other for no reason at all. For example, there has been a situation that is in Kumba. Of course, it is a place in Cameroon. And, lately Cameroon has been known to be sort of violent because there has been a clash between two, that is, communities. That is the Anglophone and the Fracophone citizens. And right now I'm talking about the situation in Kumba, whereby 7 children were murdered. It's crazy that you get to use young kids as a weapon of, airing out your voice. These kids are very innocent. These kids are out there. They have been died. Of course, they have been killed. Sorry, they have been killed while they were in pursuit for a better education. Right now in Cameroon, it is estimated that over almost 1 million children are not going to school because the parents are afraid. Their children will rather not receive education but stay home instead of going to school and losing their lives there. Because I'm talking about the situation whereby attacks have been ongoing, that is, attacks have been ongoing in Cameroon. And of course, schools have been the target for this. And as a result, parents will rather stay home with their kids. And I'm wondering what is really happening in Cameroon. As much as we have a politician coming out about condemning this act because it is an act of wickedness. This is all about, it's more like a politics. You don't get to involve the children. And of course, these attackers, of course, they stormed the school with guns and machetes. And so this incident, of course, did happen over the weekend, last weekend. So I can imagine the situation, or rather the way these parents are feeling. And this is political. Because as a politician, I don't understand what roles they are playing in the society. I mean, the role of politics is to ensure that, as much as it's to ensure that there is equality in the distribution of resources, I also believe that it is a role to ensure that they protect the future of a community. And let me just read this quote. Of course, this was by one politician. And of course, this issue has been in Cameroon for quite a long time. And one thing I can say is that every man for himself, because that is the situation in Cameroon, every man for himself in that. Politicians know that they're not affected. Maybe they have sent their children to study abroad. And of course, they know that only children of, that is in the local community, or rather children of the common wananchi, are the ones who are going, of course, to suffer. So let me read this quote by one member of a parliament in Cameroon. And really, Nigeria is fighting, and we have, of course, now we have the situation in Cameroon. It's crazy. What is the Cameroon president doing? What is the Cameroon president doing? Because if till now we are having an issue with tribal, that is clashes, I think Paul Biya isn't doing quite a lot. And that is where you get to see that the wife of Paul Biya is out here doing designers. Cameroon is really struggling. And these people, you might find that, that is, I'm talking about Chantal Biya. You all know Chantal Biya with the way, of course, she loves dressing designers at the expense of the people of Cameroon. But then again, I just want to add, what is Paul Biya doing? As much as the politicians are out here, condemning this act, I believe as a president, he is failing the people. People need not to be fighting for a lost cause. And let me read this quote. Today, barbarism has violated a sacred temple of education in Fiango, that is Akumba. This is just a place whereby, of course, the massacre did take place. The lives of 9 young children were brutally taken. Others were injured. I bow before the memory of these innocent kids. Of course, this is from the politician, and we all know that this is not new. When a situation like this happens, that is in terms of maybe a national calamity, most of these politicians will come out here and try to side with the people. That is, they're not siding because they are for the will of the people, but they are siding because they want maybe next time to be re-elected. And let me just continue with this. I strongly condemn this dastardly act of wickedness perpetrated on innocent students whose only crime is to have exercised their right to education. And you are wondering as to why we are having an issue with the education. Actually, I can say that this 2020, or in places whereby war has been of course affecting people, I can say that children, that is school going children, have been that is highly affected. Parents themselves, they are affected because they're trying to survive for themselves in terms of security, and also in terms of ensuring that their children are not are captured, because there has been an issue whereby teachers are even abducted, schools are being burned down. There has been that situation, and it is a crazy right now in Cameroon that as much as we are trying to fight awareness, we are trying to fight for peace, that is in Africa, we are just weapons, because I can say that in most cases this is a political, and that these people, they end up getting the money, that is, they end up getting the money for what they have done to, that is, they have done, that is for the chaos that they have, of course, done. But then again, that is just what I was that is just what I meant, of course, to talk earlier. That is in terms of Cameroon. But let me know your situation. Is it right that till now we are trying, to fight for freedom? We are trying to fight for one Africa, but then again, we are still having this situation whereby two communities believe that one community is more relevant than the other. And remember, that was the situation that you did have of course, that was the situation that you did have, of course, in Rwanda, and we also the genocide that was taking place in Rwanda. We are highly, of course, trying not to go. That is, trying not to go the Rwandese way. That is, as to what happened. I'm talking about the 1994, of course, genocide that of course took place in Rwanda. We do not want that. We do not want the minds of Africans, of course, are being that is corrupted. But let me just share with you this small video of the situation in Cameroon. And of course, feel free, of course, to give your views regarding that. Feel free to give your views regarding Cameroon, because right now it is of a situation in that children are dying. That is, children are being abducted, killed. I can only imagine the sadness that every time that is when you are in Cameroon, every time you get to see another day, you highly get to be grateful. That is for that. But then again, we do hope that the Cameroon government is doing something to ensure that they bring a change. That they bring a change, because the Anglophone, of course, problem is really becoming crazy. It is really, of course, becoming crazy. But let me just share with you this, that you can see the situation that is in Cameroon. It is crazy right now. We need not, of course, talk about this, but here are some of the causes, and of course, you can take a look at this. All right, here we go. All right, this is the situation that is in Cameroon.
This video, we talk about the Anglophone crisis that has been ongoing in Cameroon in the last 2 years. Southern Cameroon came into existence after the First World War when France and Britain combined forces and defeated Germany. The United Nations partitioned Cameroon between Britain and France, with France getting 80% of the country and Britain getting 20%. Due to the British policy of divide and rule, Britain split its portion of Cameroon in two parts, British Northern Cameroon and British Southern Cameroon. After Nigeria and French Cameroon got their independence in 1960, British Cameroon was given an option to either join French Cameroon or to join Nigeria. British Northern Cameroon massively voted to join Nigeria, while British Southern Cameroon reluctantly voted to join French Cameroon. Although British Southern Cameroon had loved to be independent, that option was off the table. After British Southern Cameroon joined with French Cameroon, several differences started emerging, and as time went on, those differences developed into what is termed today the Anglophone Crisis. Let's take a closer look into the struggles of Southern Cameroonians by looking at 10 remote and immediate causes of the Anglophone Crisis in Cameroon. Welcome to Emma's Top 10 and thanks for watching. If this is your first time on this channel, please hit the red subscribe button and equally discuss the terms of their union. At the end of the conference, several agreements were reached, including the change of name from Cameroon to the Federal Republic of Cameroon, the placing of 2 stars on the flag, the equality of...
All right, sorry about that ad.
Where is the best place to get leads online for your business?
This is just to say with the situation in Cameroon that years after people are still fighting for, of course, a lost cause. Because if Cameroon claims, of course, to be independent, I don't see the reason as to why they should drag, that is, different European countries. I'm talking about Britain and French, that is different European countries that did get to conquer them. I believe it's high time that the people of Cameroon gets to unify together, because this situation is highly affecting their kids, it's highly affecting the people, that is, it is highly affecting everyone in Cameroon. And until now, I believe it's high time that Cameroon need to come together as a country, that is, join hands together and not get to fight, because the situation whereby even the school children are being massacred, it is quite crazy. But nevertheless, let me know your view regarding that. And for those who are watching and listening at of course, to the blackhotfirenetwork.com, we really get to appreciate you. Remember, you can get to log in at www.blackhotfirenetwork.com, and you can take a look at some of the episodes, some of the videos you might have missed here. That is in terms of different episodes that you do have. That is different shows that you do have. Nevertheless, I was just highlighting on the situation in Cameroon, but let me know your views regarding that. But this is sad, as much as we are still fighting about and SARS, and we have seen that this has been highly politicized. The issue with Cameroon, it is also politicized. The issue with elections in Tanzania itself, it is quite crazy that still some people do not believe in casting votes, and I really don't blame them, because right now I think many people now say no to going to vote, and I am included, because I wouldn't go to the ballot box, waste my time and chance, only for a perfect leader to still come into power. But nevertheless, let's take a look at some of the great news, and I'm taking a look at what is good in Eswatini. Of course, we do have an amazing artist, that is, she goes with the name, that is, she is, of course, an amazing artist all the way from Eswatini, and she goes with the name Belemseni, if I have pronounced this correct. She is an amazing girl, that is an amazing queen, all the way from Eswatini. And one thing that I love about her is that as much as she is a guitarist and a soul singer, she has, of course, been doing projects to uplift the status of the black man. She has been doing projects to ensure that you get to understand where you're coming from. You get to stick to your African roots. That is why we are celebrating Velemseni. This name is quite hectic. That is why we are celebrating Velemseni all the way from. Actually, get to relate with this because he himself is also a poet. And I can say that this girl, actually, she has been doing poets, rapping, and also making awareness that is on the importance, importance of the things dealing with life, dealing with your culture. And I love for a fact that as an artist, you really get to use your platform very well. And of course, I'm going to share a little bit. That is a short snippet of what she has for us. That is all the way from Eswatini. And before that, Eswatini has actually been known it has actually been known to have a lot of amazing things. That is, it is one African country that, of course, changed its name. Of course, it did get to change its name, and of course, it is located in of course, Southern Africa. Eswatini officially, that is, it is the Kingdom of Eswatini. It was formerly known as Swaziland, and that is why I'm wondering the situation in Cameroon. Why would you still be fighting about your colonizers? Why would you be having rivalry about your colonizers? And this was done decades earlier on, and you still want to pass this. You still want to create fear amongst the children. Let the people, let Africans not be used. And I can tell you that for sure this is more like a politics because we all know that, for example, the situation in Nigeria, that politicians get those this situation whereby a politician, of course, switched off the lights, of course, tampered with the CCTV footages, and of course, sent his goons to the people, that is, to beat the people and torture them, and some people lost their lives as a result. This is the Africa we are living in. And I honestly am praying for these countries. I'm praying for the day they will get to, feel that sunshine. They'll get, of course, to feel at home because Africa is where we belong. It is our home. We do not know any other home. But of course, this issue with conquer and divide has highly affected people. And the leaders who are still continuing with that agenda, they are highly affecting people. And just nevertheless, I'll just continue with the situation that is in Swaziland because Swaziland, it was formerly, of course, it was known as Swaziland, but right now it changed its name to that is the Kingdom of Eswatini, which is basically amazing. If different African countries will stand for themselves and not be fighting for a wrong cause, then we will be somewhere. And I was just highlighting from this amazing girl, that is this amazing songstress all the way from Eswatini, that is Willem Seni. Willem Seni is actually a big name in Eswatini. She has done a major collaboration. She has, of course, she has some songs, and here are some of the songs that you can get to listen. You can get to enjoy her vocals. She has songs like "Times Over Swaziland." That is one of the songs that she has. She has oh, it's quite hectic to pronounce this one. She has also she has a lot of songs actually, and we have said about some of these names actually they are in Eswatini. I was almost saying my own things. Some of these names actually they are in Eswatini. That is why it is hard to pronounce. But then again, we really get to appreciate this African soul, this African, of course, a soul that gets to put word out there that still Africa is home, that still Africa is the way forward. Let me just get to share a little bit of what she has as we continue with the show. Remember, you are tuning to Black on Fire Network, media for the 21st century, and it's all about, of course, the main topic was the situation in Cameroon, and today it is all about entertainment. Of course, we'll have to judge a little bit on entertainment, on what is popping in, that is in terms of entertainment. But let me know if this is a hit or a diss for you. But just for me, it is of course a hit for me. It is a hit for me, and let me just get this song for you all the way from Eswatini. That is all the way from Eswatini land. And of course, the name of the artist is Valamnasi. Valamnasi, if I have pronounced that correct. Let me just get this for you. All right, let me get this. I think it's delaying a little bit. But then again, today we get to appreciate Willem Singh actually. We today we also get to appreciate, to get to, of course, to appreciate artists in different African countries, not only in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, because we're so used to Nigeria, but not only in Nigeria, but also in different African countries. All right, here you go. Well, I'm saying it all the way from Mesotino just to get to play a little bit of this. All right, here we go all the way from Eswatini. Let me know if it's a hit or a diss for you.
I was born 3 hours before you. And I already was dead for you. Tell me, do you first cry? Tell me, do you
Okay, that is just a little bit of course, sheets all the way from Eswatini land. And of course, let me know if it's a hit or a diss for you, but I can say that she is a talented, considering that we really not have been dwelling, on different artists all the way from Eswatini land, but I can say she is highly talented. Remember, this is the Black Hot Fire Network, a media for the 21st century. And of course, when we'll be coming back from the break, and of course, we'll be coming back from the short and musical break, will of course be dwelling much on what is happening in Africa. And of course, we are getting to enjoy some little bit of Ricardo Banks, and the title of the song is Rora. And remember, you are tuning to Black Hot Fire Network, media for the 21st century. And we also do have, of course, other shows when you get to log in at www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. Remember, you can take a look at the Calmie African Diary Show. We do have the 54 correspondence show still, or when you get to log in on the Black Hot Fire Network. We do have Voices of the Motherland, the African Today Show, Swahili Classes. There is a lot of shows there. There is also the educative part whereby you get to interact with the blogs. Remember, it is the Calmie African Diary Show. And of course, it is a Friday. It is all about a positive, that is the vibes. It is all about positive vibrations. Remember, we are, of course, almost coming to the end, of course, of the month, because today is the 30th, and I can say that October has really tried to be a good month. As much as 2020 hasn't been that good, but we are hoping November will bring us more sunshine. November will get, of course, to, of course, make a change. We are just hoping for that. It is good to be optimistic, and we are just one more month to the end of the year, because November is here with us. But to those who are listening and watching, we really appreciate you for taking the time. And of course, if you got to miss this episode and more other episodes, remember you can get to log in and take a look at what you are missing. And of course, this is Ricardo Bank, and the title of the song is Rora.
Baby, this a yes and I say if you agree, mama, like party two, at the party one, party two, like the pan one. I go be the change in your catwalk and change in your life, girl. Every day, like you enjoy. But there are things like a laptop. face and I be talk to ba. I no go lie about the face. Only like it anytime you make a come through. I go tell my guys, them I know they come so. But I miss you, make my eye through. Many girls get, but now you are one more. Baby, this is a she na she talk. If you cream on my lap, 42 at the 41, 42 at the power. I go be the change.
Yeah, welcome back to the Calmie African Diary Show. And of course, remember you are tuning to Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. Let's take a look at the situation in South Africa. Now, we can say that South Africa has been amongst those African countries that have been highly affected by COVID-19. People are sleeping, of course, hungry. The rate of joblessness is on the rise. There was actually recently the issue with alcohol being banned for some time and cigarettes. And I said that is not enough. The government isn't really doing enough. Take a look at the Port Elizabeth Hospital. I had earlier on talked about some time back here on the Calmie African Diary Show. The situation there, it's crazy. Nurses are now doing the jobs that are not theirs. Doctors are turning between serving patients. The issue with the oxygen, a sharing of oxygen is not enough. It's actually a horror movie. And the South African government went ahead and unveiled a statue that it made for 13 million rand. Remember, it's amid this COVID-19 pandemic. And this statue is of a South African struggle, of course. I'm talking about Oliver Reginald Tambo. That is a Tambo, sorry, in South Africa. And I can say that was quite a lot of money to invest on a statue. 13 million rand worth of statue. Okay, it's not bad to it's not bad. To commemorate some of the leaders who helped, of course, fight for us. But I can say the South African government is being extravagant in terms of ensuring that the welfare of the people is looked into. Because the welfare of the people is not looked into. You cannot unveil a 30 million rand statue and the people are jobless and the people are sleeping hungry. Schools are closed. The rate of COVID-19 is spreading in their country. And you all know South Africa is highly dominated by who? And right now the current youth is unemployed. And that is why we have been talking about the issue with the rape. The rape culture is taking away in South Africa. Because if you don't have a job, you don't have any activity, any economic activity that can help, of course, to put food on the table, you will result into crimes. I believe this was the wrong time that the South African government unveiled, of course, the statue. If anything, they maybe have taken their time a little bit and ensure that they have looked into the welfare, into the welfare of the people. And just to continue with that, not that of course we are not appreciating them, but I can say that wasn't well thought of. And that is why the poor will always continue to be poor. That is in South Africa. The bridge continues, of course, to widen. Moving on from that, let's take a look at what is happening in Lagos. We do have the highly anticipated album by the one and only Wizkid. I can say that the musical industry in Nigeria has been quite, hectic. But then again, it's all about how relevant you get to stay. And Wizkid has really been trying to stay as relevant as possible. And he has a new album which is titled "Made in Lagos," and it is dedicated to Nigerians fighting against police brutality in the ongoing enters. And I believe most, of course, artists will come about with the project to help, of course, support the people. That is to help make the people feel that they are not alone, that they have someone who is helping them. And that is they have the likes of different artists who are helping them. That is, I'm talking about the likes of Whiskey, the likes of Davido, the likes of Niniola, different Nigerian artists who have, of course, come about to help curb the issue with the NSAS. Anyway, we are, of course, almost coming up to the end of the show because we do have the express show coming right in a few minutes from now. But I believe everyone is doing okay. And of course, remember to give in your views regarding the topic that we did have today, the situation in Nigeria, the situation in Cameroon. It seems like it is a cry for revolution in Africa. My name is Calmie, and this has been the Calmie African Diary Show, and we'll get to interact on the next show because it is just a few minutes from now. But I really want to appreciate everyone who has been tuning in, everyone who was, of course, listening to the show because without you, we wouldn't be where we are. And of course, remember that we appreciate you. And of course, as we are coming to the end of the show, remember it is on a weekend. Remember to stay safe and also stay sane because they say that dead men do not tell no tales. So of course, you wouldn't want to be counted there. Goodbye, and of course, we'll get to interact on the next show just a few minutes from now. And my name is Calmie, and this has been the Calmie African Diary Show.
And change in your life, girl. Every day I go enjoy. Open up, do like a laptop. Money go, money go, money go, everything is allowed. Baby say everything is allowed. Me I say, pretty baby, I'm mad. Let me say, let me go play for I just want to do my love. I just want to do my love. I just want to do my love. I just want to do. 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 I just want. But tell all your friends I love them too. I do.